Husam, let me bring you back in here, because you have spent your entire working life pursuing a political horizon for Palestinians, pursuing a solution, and we are, whether we like it or not, on this panel today, we are looking at some discussions about what happens next. The Palestinian Authority, we talked to the Prime Minister here on the stage yesterday about conversations that are being had about a PA platform or a PLO platform for leadership in both Gaza and for the wider Palestinian effort going forward. What do you make of where we are at? Conversations about Hamas playing a junior role in any governing going forward. I mean, just explain what your position is. And given the ineffective and inefficient Palestinian Authority to date, and you I know will argue why that is. You know, what does a Palestinian Authority or its ilk need to look like going forward to achieve a Palestinian horizon?
Well, we just need to empower the existing Palestinian national institutions. We have the State of Palestine. It is recognized by the State of Qatar and the majority of the world, 141 countries. We have a seat in the United Nations, and thanks to the US veto, it's a non-member state, but it's a state. It's a state. That state has a government. That government is the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, not the PA. When we went to the UN, and I was part of the delegation in 2012 to the General Assembly, submitting our request, our application to the UN General Secretary, we specified in that application that it is the PLO that is the government of the State of Palestine, because the PLO represents the entire Palestinian people, inside and outside. And the PLO has the legitimacy. Nationally, there's no one Palestinian that challenges the legitimacy and the representation of the PLO. That includes Hamas, by the way. So all what we need to do is to empower the existing institutions, that's number one, and to stop talking about Gaza in a partial, selective situation, or from a military and security arrangement, or all that piecemeal approach, or the interim arrangements. That ain't gonna happen. The status quo ante is over. The State of Palestine, and with its government, has the mandate to protect its people, to provide for its people, to lead the massive humanitarian and reconstruction efforts, to lead the accountability. That's why the State of Palestine referred our territory to the ICC for many years now. And you know why the ICC is dragging its feet. Let's not go there. So we have the structures. We need to empower these structures. And we must leave the issue of who leads, who governs, to the Palestinian people. This is.
In doing
do not intervene, do not discuss. There was never in our history a Palestinian president or leader who was not elected and chosen by his people, and there shall never be. Only the Palestinian people will decide upon that, but we do have the structures. And if we want to focus on anything to be done right now, we need to talk to the US and the UK to do one thing now. Not to mediate, because they are not able to do so, given the voting in the Security Council, but to recognize the State of Palestine. That will qualify them to be party and part of the conversation and on the table. Number two, I'm sorry, Becky, without recognizing the two states, stop giving me lip service about the two states. Okay? Stop. Enough. Recognize. And particularly where I'm serving here now, I mean in the UK, because the United Kingdom, Great Britain, has contributed to the situation that we live today. It is the Balfour Declaration, 106 years ago, that has promised our land with that colonial arrogance without consulting us, and turned us The natives who lived in the land for millennia, the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of Christianity, turned us into non-Jewish minorities, denying us our peoplehood. And then later the mandate, the British mandate, denied us our right of self-determination, our statehood. Therefore, yes, this is a global issue. It was started by global powers and continued by the US. So the recognition of the Palestinian right to self-determination is a precondition for any international actor to act and to be part of the solution. And we need to regain the global order. I'm sorry, Becky, because what happened in the last few weeks did not just affect Palestinians. That's why you have the hundreds of thousands, the millions in the streets of London, Manchester, Glasgow, Cardiff, and all over the world. Because everybody now realizes this is no longer about the Palestinians only. This is about every and each one of them. This is about their global rules. What is the global order? I'm sorry, Becky. What is the idea of the post-World War II global order? Three things. War should never be a first option, Security Council. Second, should it be an option, there are rules, the Geneva Conventions, and there should be accountability for war crimes. Israel has literally demolished, right live on camera, all these rules. Furthermore, the normalization of mass murder of children and women and mass destruction of civilian structures, hospitals, is going to haunt our humanity. So this is a moment when we regain that order. And what is the problem in that order? Is it the rules? No. Is it the policy? There is a consensus on the two-state solution. Is there one country in the world that does not call for the two-state solution, Daniel? There is a consensus. The problem is not in policy or rules and laws. The problem is in politics. I'll end here. In politics. And let's pinpoint it. The politics of certain world powers, particularly the US, is the issue that we need to focus on. And I don't think we should throw the baby with the bathtub now. We need to regain that, regain some regional balance, and there is a consensus in the region now. Block the Netanyahu agenda, because some were dancing around his agenda in the last few years, and go forward to see how can we move this moment. Listen, Becky, what I have witnessed in the last few weeks is unprecedented. The massive energy that is gathering. It does remind me of the anti-apartheid movement about South Africa. We can turn this moment into a historic moment that really turned this tragedy into the biggest opportunity to go all the way to liberation and ending the occupation, because the people of the world are going to suck oxygen out of this occupation, out of this colonization, out of this besiegement of our entire people, out of the racism that we have lived for 75 years.
Ambassador, thank you. And